Welcome back to Metro Morning Live. Again, we are so happy to have on the show with us Dr. Eldridge Henderson. He is the president of the Action Leadership Institute. And listen to this, Dr. Henderson is also a keynote speaker for colleges, family reunions, churches, conferences, retreats, and community organizations. And each week he comes by and sheds some information on us. And we are so happy to have you, Doc.
Thank you again, sir. I'm proud to be here, believe it or not.
Yes, sir. Now, Doc, this week we're going to talk about the consolidation of city government, right?
Well, not exactly, but that's very close. We want to talk about city-county program consolidation.
Okay.
It's very difficult to get cities and counties to consolidate. There are only 34 in the whole United States, and it takes the legislature to get involved. But when you start consolidating city and county programs, that's a different matter, and it's easier to do, but it's very difficult to get the elected politicians that's already in office to do anything about it on what we call a broad level, because it means good government.
You know, you kind of frighten a lot of people when you say consolidation plan for city, county government. Is this a good idea?
Excellent idea. Excellent. And the reason is one of the best things going today, if the people would have the ability to do it, is that it produces a lot of non-duplication of program. It saves money. And you have a chance to have fewer agencies that are covering a wider area, and you usually then can find highly qualified people to take care of these responsibilities.
Well, Doc, who would structure such a plan of consolidation?
The people and the city and county supervisors would initiate it if it's consolidating programs. But now if they were going to consolidate city and county government, the legislature would have to be involved after the local politicians, you know, put petitions together, get a referendum from the citizens, and then they pass it to the legislature, or so they will usually pass it. But in most cases, that's not going to happen.
Now, has this been successful in the U.S.?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Like I told you earlier, they have 34 counties and cities that are incorporated as government units. They have one police force, one fire chief, one court system, and all of those things are put together, and it serves the citizens well. They have one good example is in Louisiana, have 2 or 3 county city governments in Louisiana, 7 in Georgia, in Philadelphia, Boston, and a lot of other counties have strong city government, what I call collaborations. I'm not talking about programs now, but when you start talking about city-county programs, there are thousands of those throughout the country.
Well, you know, Doc, when you start talking about consolidating city, county government, people may think that some jobs could be lost.
They really do.
Is that some of the things that's a concern, a major concern of that?
It is a major concern because most people don't want to lose the little, what I call the concentrated power they have. And people get excited when you start talking about consolidation because they think that certain people from the outside will come in and get those jobs. And sometimes that's exactly what needs to happen because you have a lot of appointments, usually of friends and relatives, and when you have collusion like this and you exclude the person that's qualified and certified, see, there are 2 things you have to look at when you're looking at city government or any kind of government and administration: certification, experience, and qualification. Those 3 things are very important.
Now, how would such a consolidation plan impact Jackson and Hinds County?
It would be one of the best things happen since the, I believe, the 1890 Constitution.
Is that right?
That's right. It would be one of the greatest
now, you
things
got to explain that to me now.
If the city and county would consolidate, you will find what I call people-oriented efficiencies through the government. But now this won't happen in Mississippi, but they can, the city of Jackson and the county, Hinds County, can consolidate any program they want. To give you an example, the city and county can get together tomorrow, and in 30, 60, 90 days, they can put one grant program administrator together. There are over 500 different grants available for cities, towns, and counties in America. Over 500. They can get with the municipal League. And this organization represents the counties throughout America, and they can give them the latest research, the latest funding resources, the latest education plans, and show them how to put these programs together. Most cities already belong to the municipal league, and they ought to use those resources. And the city then could put their youth programs together, the education programs. They can consolidate the superintendents where they will allow them to do it, as they've done in Vicksburg, where they have a county and city education system, and many other places. But now it takes strong politicians that are not afraid to do something what I call innovative, to do this in county.
Will that happen here, you think?
In Jackson,
In Jackson.
Mississippi, in Hinds County?
Yes.
Of course not. They will play around with a few programs, but when you look at the criminal justice system, you look at the fire departments. We have about 14 different fire departments in Hinds County. 14. Volunteer fire people. Got jobs.
But isn't that needed in certain areas?
Of course it's needed in all areas, but you need professionals in these areas. Here you are, Rob J. You are in the volunteer fire department. Your buzzer will go off. You have to jump out of here and go down and put out a fire in Utica, Mississippi. You know you're not going to leave this show and do that. You're going to wait a few minutes. So by the time you get down in Utica, there'll be a lot of destruction.
Yes,
So if you have the professionals that are paid, that are certified, you will have a small team that's ready to go at any minute with the most efficient fire equipment. The same thing with the fire department. What do we need with 14 different police chiefs in Hinds County? What good that's going to do? They all have different policies. They all know who the drug dealers are in the town. They know who the prostitutes are. They see them every day. They know who the corporate crooks are. They work with them every day.
But Doc, isn't it, if the more officers, the better? Isn't that the rule of thumb?
Yeah, the more qualified office
Oh, you're
is
talking
better.
about just volunteer people.
Oh, these volunteers, that's good. That's old-fashioned English-type government. But in America today and in the world, in modern societies, you need people that are qualified, experienced, and very efficient in what they do. So you have to be very selective when you get people that want to do the right thing in the right position.
Well, what can citizens do about these recommendations?
They can start thinking about it, and then they could unify their resources and their organizations and start on the local level dealing with the city council and the county supervisors and say, we want change, we want consolidation in our infrastructure. We want consolidation in our school system. We want you to consolidate our youth training programs and use these vocational and career centers that are empty half at a time. At 9 o'clock, you can't find anything going on in the career development centers throughout the state of Mississippi. Very seldom. And I told you last week or so,
Yes, sir.
the lights are still on, the air conditioning's still on, thousands of people not working. So these centers ought to be used. Most counties have career development centers or places where they train people. But at 9, they are closed, at 8:30, and they have nothing going on.
Yes, sir.
And more people are unemployed and underemployed
Well,
with
Doc,
no skills.
Well, we're gonna keep our eye on this situation, and maybe things will work out in what you say with this. I don't know if I may agree with you on this. We don't agree on a lot of things.
Well, that's good. If we all agreed on everything, one of us shouldn't be here. I don't want you to agree with me, because when you hear the real news where
sir.
things can be done, sir, in 30 to 60, 90 days,
Yes, sir.
most people don't want to agree with that because that's change.
Yes, sir.
Who wants major change during their lifetime?
You like to sit here and fuss at me, don't you?
No,
Doc?
I'm not fussing. See, I would like to talk to realists. Now, you're a great guy,
Yes, sir.
but you want to hesitate and wait until you get an inner calling to do something.
Yes, sir.
Because you're looking for safety. And nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to get out on that limb, sir.
Get on that limb.
And
I don't
you're
like a shaky
over the
limb.
pond, and you know alligators are there.
Yeah, I don't like
But you
it.
got to have faith.
No, man, not on a shaky limb, Doc.
Oh, man, it might break, but if it falls, it might kill the alligator. So, so don't worry about those
Well,
kind of things.
let everybody know that, Doc, you're also on once a week on Comcast Channel 18.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
That's
Which
on
is-
Wednesdays and Fridays.
Yes, sir.
And if people want to hear the real news, sir, all they have to do is tune in on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. and on Fridays at 5.
Because you cuts up on that show.
No, I don't. I just give the real news,
Yes,
and I
sir.
don't have someone like you to ask questions that are safe. I talk about what I want to talk about.
I know you do. So we have to have a little net here.
Of course.
Doc, thank you so
I
much. for joining.
understand, sir, and I appreciate what you do. You're doing a
Yes,
great
sir.
job,
Yes, sir.
and that's why you're here.
All right. Well, thank you, Doc. Stay with us. More Metro Morning Live after the break.